Right, welcome everyone. This is the Love Island cast. I am Chris Phelps, a massive Love Island fan, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey Chris, and I am the Love Island cynic.
And what this podcast is about is we're going to review each sort of week or couple of days of Love Island, and I'm going to try my hardest to convert Dave over to loving Love Island. I don't know whether we can, but we're going to have a very, very good go. If not, me and Dave are probably going to not speak to each other for a long time after this.
Well, Chris, so I am intrigued because you always go on about Love Island. So we said we'd start this show. I think you've got almost zero chance of converting me. But, I mean, when did you start being a fan?
From the beginning, Dave. I mean, let's put it on the table. I'm 40 now. I've been into reality TV shows for, it must be since Big Brother, really, 2000 when that come out. And me and my wife, Sam, will just sit there and watch anything. If it was two guys in a shed with a camera and it's some sort of reality thing, we're on it. This ridiculous stuff. It goes from the Housewives of New Jersey, Housewives of New York, the Kardashians. I love all of them, Dave. Anything reality. We've just been watching the Housewives of Cheshire finale tonight. I can watch stuff. I can watch Game of Thrones. I can watch films. I love stuff like that. But when it comes to just not thinking about anything, if Sam says to me, what do you want to watch? And there's a 6-part documentary or a 6-part drama, or there's a chance of watching Celebrity Housewives of New York, Dave. I'm going to pick that every time, the Celebrity Housewives. So when it comes to this sort of stuff, I lap it up. I was a massive fan of Big Brother. I know it went off the last few years, and Love Island took over, and we've been watching it from the start. I think the first series we got into, watched about maybe 10 episodes, then we went off it and didn't watch enough. And then, to be fair, the second series of Love Island just went crazy, and we ended up watching all that, then going back on series 1, and ever since then we've just been hooked. I mean, pretty much since series 2, I'll be honest, and then we went backwards, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous nonsense TV, Dave. It's absolute. It's the top of the trashiest TV you can think of.
I'm glad you said it's ridiculous nonsense TV, because that was my line. So, I mean, you say back to the beginning. So how many series of Love Island has there been?
Well, this is officially on the reboot, this is the 4th series that's about to start this evening, because we're filming this on the 3rd of June when it starts in the UK. Now, it was on before, and there was a celebrity one. I don't know if you remember. It was sort of, I think it was the early 2000s, maybe mid-2000s. We had people like Lee Sharp on it. Brendan Cole off I'm a Celebrity. Callum Best was on it. They brought Callum Best back, actually, for Series 1. And he came back for a couple of episodes. This was basically a reboot as such. So it's gone from there, really. And it was always supposed to be a celebrity thing, but it's just expanded into sort of normal people, shall we call them, as such. And Dave, it's absolutely ridiculous TV. It is.
So, I mean, I used to like the original Big Brother, but I think I checked out in the second series. When you had like Bubble. I remember Bubble was there. Nasty Nick he was in the first one, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
I remember Bubble legging it through the living room and taking himself out on the sofa. I remember all that. And for me, it started off as quite an interesting social experiment. But what you saw with each series that came in, they were just getting more and more extreme personalities in, and just purely, it became less of a social experiment and more of a freak show. And so I've been checked out for years. So tell me, Chris, why should I care about this?
Because, Dave, I shouldn't care about it. My whole, I suppose, lifestyle and demographic, I should not be interested in this program, but they absolutely love it. You get involved in this absolutely. It's made up, really. It's a false life that they lead while they're in there. And there's been plenty of the reality stuff where they get together and they pretty much don't stay together after the show. We had Danny Dyer's daughter, who was called Danny Dyer last year, and Jack Fincham, they both won it. And they were quite normal people. They've literally just split up. But why do you watch it, Dave? You just invest in everything, because what can happen is someone can come in, man or a woman, they'd be absolutely loved up with someone, and then 2 days later, someone else comes in, and they're out, and they're all sharing beds, and it's kicking off and bitching and fighting, and honestly, it's the thing is with it, and I'm being completely honest, they're all wannabes who want to be famous. You know, Danny Dyer and this Jackie won it last year. They made a career out of it. He was on the, obviously didn't get paid for it, but he was on the recent that Full Monty they do. The cancer, he's bit of stuff like that. He had their own reality stuff. So they're always in like the sort of public's eye, public's conscience, all of, especially the ones who win. But most of the time, it's the notoriety of the ones who don't win, the ones who are horrible. And honestly, the ones who are the sleaziest or like the backbiting, they're usually the ones everyone remembers, because it's an absolute, honestly, I mean, what happens is, Dave, because they want to make it, they'll do anything. And it's quite sad, really, because these people look absolutely, you know, the men are absolutely ripped up, the women look like swimwear models. It's just ridiculous. But it can be arguing over the most stupid things. And I, honestly, you've just got to see it to believe it. I genuinely believe by the end of this, you will be hooked, and you'll try everything you can not to watch it, but you will not stop watching it. I'm guaranteeing it now.
Well, I am incredibly cynical about that statement, but like I say, we're going to be on this journey, aren't we? How long does it last for?
It's usually about 2 months, give or take a week. I'm going to double check that actually, because it's on for 6 days a week. They don't do it on a Saturday, but other than, and then on a Saturday, you usually get a recap of the week that's just gone. So, and you get some sort of background stuff, and they have like another show that runs in the background, which is the behind the scenes one. So yeah, it's probably, if you do get invested in it, Dave, it's going to consume your life.
Well, I don't know. I mean, let's see. I mean, what channel's it on, Chris? Because I there's so many reality TV shows. Where can I get it in the first place?
It's ITV2, Dave, and I reckon they could probably run it on ITV1, but they can't because of how long it's on. It's actually on from tonight until the 30th of July. So it's 8 weeks, give or take.
Well, to be honest, I mean, we've just finished the football season. And I was looking for a little plug in my life. If you'd have given me 1,000 things to fill that void with, I don't think I'd have come up with this one. But I think that does actually conveniently fit right in the middle of that blank bit of the football season, doesn't it? So
it does,
just be ready for getting into the pre-season then. So, okay, you know, I mean, let's do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
It'll consume my life, and I'll be
you'll be as shallow as me.
a laughing stock in my circle of friends.
Well, I did tag you before, and I said, Dave, I have tagged you on Facebook, and all I got off you was, for fuck's sake.
Oh, this is an explicit podcast as well.
Yeah.
Probably mentioned that.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, I've got a feeling, Dave, that you're going to be dropping quite a few swear words. Now, obviously, people who don't know myself or you, I am the one who's usually totally explicit in our random normal life conversations. So I think you're going to be dropping all sorts, because what'll happen is, Dave, there'll be things happen within the show, and you'll be like, that is utterly fucking nonsense. You know, it is. I can sit there and get absolutely so annoyed watching it, thinking, oh, come on. You know, you can see when people are playing games and they're doing things. And honestly, it's not. I've got the app on my phone and everything. I keep it on my phone. It's been on my phone for nearly 3 years now, Dave. You know,
Chris.
I know. I mean, I'm pretending you're down a rabbit hole here. All your sort of reputation could be in tatters at the end of this, because I've got friends there, and I tag a couple of my good friends actually who I know absolutely hate this sort of thing. And there's one guy at work, I've tagged him twice today on Love Island, and he just said to me, if I carry on, he's going to hit me over the head with a shovel when he sees me work. And I don't think he's joking, but the last time I started tagging him with stuff like this, he actually deleted me off Facebook, but I've been redeemed. I've even said to him today, I take it you're going to delete me soon. And he went, yeah, if you carry on, or you get that shovel over your head. So I'll have to tread carefully. But no,
so what do they actually do then? So you got these young, fit men and women. What do they do? Apart from all the flirting and whatever, yeah. What am I to expect?
It's quite cutting, actually, because what'll happen tonight is Caroline Flack's the presenter. So the guy who makes it, Dave, is the voiceover guy. He's so funny. He's a Scottish lad. Honestly, He's absolutely hilarious. He's a bit like the guy who does
not Come Down With Me, surely.
No,
really?
No, it's not him. It's
Big
that
Brother.
No, his name's
Day 3 in the Big Brother house.
He made the living. Ian Sterling he's a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's done a couple of things, but Love Island is the one. And he's honestly, he does swears and everything. That's one of the reasons I know it being the explicit podcast, it's all over the show and the presenter even does it. And I think, to be fair, that's why it's on ITV too, because he will say stuff about people and he's calling them out rotten, But so what'll happen tonight is the pretense is it'll either be the men or the women. It's usually the women come in first. Caroline Flack season, they're round the pool. They all stand there in like a parade. Then the lads come in. Sometimes it's reversed, but then the lads come in. And what the lads have got to do then is the lads stand in front of the girls and the girls have to sort of pick who they want to go with, like on a date. So I'll be coupled up with. So if you're coupled up in it, Dave, this is going to be great, actually showing you this. But when you're coupled up, you actually are immune to a point of being voted off. So what'll happen is they'll start off as an even number and the original cast will just expand over the next, even tonight, apparently there's more people coming in that have not been announced. So what happens is, say they start with 10 people, so there's 5 on 5. You could get it where a lad comes in, he sees a girl, she likes him, she picks him as her partner, they go together. The next minute, another lad comes in. She can dump this guy she's just gone with straight away. It's proper brutal, Dave. I'm not exaggerating. Or what you'll get is, like last year, there was Dr. Alex, this guy. He was like a proper stiff, proper Walter Softy stiff. He comes in, not one of the girls picked him. And he was a really nice lad, but nobody picked him. So he shouldn't laugh, because obviously if it was any of us, you'd be like, oh my God, what is...
Well, I am thinking that would be me.
Probably would be me as well.
I bet he was a stand-up bloke.
He was a good, but he's a doctor. He was a top guy. He's a proper doctor and everything. But genuinely, the girls just didn't take to him at first. They liked him in the end because he was a dead genuine guy. But it was one of these where it was proper brutal. Cringing. You put your hands over your face like, oh my God. But through your fingers, you're looking like, has that just happened? There's some proper...
Is it like The Office where it's proper buttock clenchingly embarrassing?
Yes, there's some terrible...
All right. Ding. You might have just got my attention a little bit there.
Yeah, honestly, there's some proper bits. Like, I hope tonight it happens, because you get it where, say a lad comes in and then that Caroline will say, right, step forward, which girls are interested in, I don't know, say Dave. And you might get 3 step forward, or you might get none. If you get none, you've got to stand there then, and you sort of like getting the wooden streaks, like playing football and getting picked.
I was just thinking, like, being the last one to be picked in the football team behind the, local stray dogs and things. So.
The goalpost.
Yeah. That chair. And then, Dave.
Because what'll happen, I know you're totally right, because what'll happen, I'm sure somebody in this sort of society we live in, someone's going to complain about it, but it's hilarious to watch, because they go on there and they give a little VT before about who they are. There's always the sort of Essex boy, the proper suntanned with the big white tee. He's always there. There's always one from Essex. You usually get a Geordie, the Geordie Shore. There's a bit always outrageous. You get some lad who's just like purely into they all look good anyway, but usually someone's into the gym. Tonight, we'll go through the guests actually, because there's a few, I don't know all the guests, but one of them that stood out for me over anything, and I know it'll get a lot of attention, is Tyson Fury's brother, Tommy. He's a heavyweight boxer. He's on, just started his career, and he's gone straight into there. He's only 20, from Manchester, so he's a local lad to me. The other guys, I don't really know. There's a firefighter called Michael. There's a lad called Joe. He's from southeast London. There's a mix, a lad called Sharif, who his VT was ridiculous, because you always get him saying, I'm a ladies' man and this is me. But then when they get on the show, nobody talks to him or anything. Or you'll get like the girls who are models and stuff, and some are right, up their own backside. Some of them are lovely, and you get the ones that are emotional. And honestly, it'll react over ridiculous things. And what'll happen is then, Dave, which is bad, new people come into it. So say a couple are loved up, and you've watched 4 days of this couple loved up, the hugging, kissing. You'll get people crying after a day because they've been split up, like they've been together for 20 years, Dave. I'm not joking. And they're all loved up and that. And then all of a sudden, a new girl or a new lad will come in and go, right, I'm taking you on a date. And that's it. It just causes so much friction in the house. It proper kicks off, honestly. I just hope.
See, you're not right. You got a little minor plus point for the buttock clenchingly embarrassing scenes where I'm quite looking forward to. But to me, they're just all a bunch of shallow bastards, and you're just confirming that for me. Yep. So that's kind of what I'm expecting, and I'm not expecting to enjoy it at all. But let's see.
I just think what happens is you'll watch it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get plenty of abuse later on when we're watching it. Because on our Twitter channel, if you want to, I'm going to be live tweeting now every episode. It's at Love Island Cast on Twitter, so I'm going to be live tweeting from it, Dave. So what you'll get invested in, and I'm hoping, is the nonsense dramas that are created within it, Dave. It's just absolutely pathetic. It's pathetic, and it kicks off, but you'll see it all over. Someone wins the heart of the nation, someone's the evil baddie, whether it be a lad or a girl. It's nonsense. But for me, it just consumes. I mean, it's not just me. Sam, my wife, watches it. My daughter watches it. Jordan. But the whole family is split. I mean, I've got a big family, and some of my sisters hate it. Some of them love it. Some of my brothers love it. Some of them don't. And it's just one of them daft programs. And when we were on holiday in Menorca a couple of years ago, when Series 2 was on, and everyone was going back to the room to watch it like 10 o'clock, and the entertainment was terrible. We had English TV.
I seriously question where you go on holiday. Just...
It wasn't the best entertainment. Everyone was going back to the room, like, right? It was sort of like one of them things, Dave. Have you ever seen the Jolly Boys out in Fields and Horses where the coach blows up and they're in Margate and they're looking for a room, and you've got like 37 people in the middle of the square, and they're all like, well, it's shut till Monday. Well, they're not going to put 37 people up. And then Trigger goes, I've lost my dolphin. And they're all sat there, and all of a sudden they all just sort of start petering off and dispersing, like very slowly to get like a room for 3 people or certain. And that's exactly what we were doing. Everyone was like, all of a sudden, like 8 o'clock, everyone's going, oh, I'm really tired. Oh, I've had a right long day today.
You're just getting off for a crafty wank. Right, Chris. Where can people get hold of us?
We can get hold of us on Twitter at fucking dick, right? At Love Island Cast, or email at the loveislandcast@gmail.com. That's loveislandcast@gmail.com. And myself and Dave will be policing it. I'm sure Dave is going to be cringing at every single minute of it, but I cannot wait for this evening's first episode.
Well, I can absolutely wait for it, but it is going to be kind of fun watching you get all immersed in it and me just not really caring. But let's see.
We'll see. But yeah, and also everyone who's listening, this is the first episode, so any suggestions, get in contact with us. This is all light-hearted fun, and if you do want to come on with me and Dave, give us a shout, because I'm more than happy to get someone else's opinion to back me up, hopefully.
So you can get hold of us at anywhere where you download your podcasts. So if you're listening to this, you probably already know where that is. But if you could drop us a 5-star review, click on write a review and write anything you want, to be honest. It doesn't really matter, the 5 stars, and writing something is what helps us really to get out there to other listeners and helps us to grow the show.
He certainly does, Dave. We might need all the help we can get with this one. Fantastic. And one of our other shows as well, if you're into comic book based movies or TV shows, is at Comics in Motion P on Twitter. It's called Comics in Motion, and there's plenty of episodes. If you just go on your podcast hosting site and put in Comics in Motion, we're everywhere, and there's plenty of episodes. We're up to episode 75 now. If you do want a Wheel of Wheel show after you've listened to one of our episodes, it's at Comics in Motion podcast@gmail.com. So thank you very much, Dave, and thank you very much, everyone, for listening. This is going to be a heck of a journey. And also, just before we do go, I know the trials and tribulations, Dave, of this show. We are going to stick to start with one episode a week, but I've got a feeling that when it does sort of kick off a little bit and there's some proper drama, we may have to just jump on for a quick podcast recap on what we've just seen. Yeah, well, let's see. Yep. Thanks, obviously, if there's big events and stuff that's happening and we can't leave it for the week, then we'll jump on a few more times. Brilliant. Yes, so 9 o'clock, ITV2, get on it, and we'll see you again soon. See you soon.